let's answer some of the biggest AI objections and fallacies that authors are falling for. I think we live in a weird time. Writers and authors were caught, and if you're an artist, right, you're caught between a cultural riptide between two loud extremes. On one side, you've got techno utopians, and they're telling us that AI is the future and we should outsource our creativity to machines to write more, write faster, write better. Then on the other side, you've got like techno doomsayers, and they're warning us AI is plagiarism, soul erasing, and it's the fast track to the collapse of literature as we know it. Hi, I'm Dominic, founder of a writing community called LegendFiction, where we believe AI can be helpful as long as it doesn't replace your actual practical, craft of learning writing. Neither of these two camps give creatives much room to think critically. You're either a sellout or a purist. Um, you're either a tool user or a tool of the system. So there's been some fallout that I don't know too much about. I've just heard from the edges of it, of NaNoWriMo, and thousands of authors are now being left wondering what is the smart or the prudent way forward. And at Legend Fiction, we do believe that there is a third way. Authors can thoughtfully integrate new tools where they can preserve artistic integrity and build meaningful worlds. So here is, as I said, I'm a big advocate for responsible use of AI. I've done a whole series on my channel about how I think about AI and how it can be excessively helpful, as an artist. And I think artists are the best people to be using AI. So that's why I'm here to help authors and creators find their own freedom, eliminate tedium, and preserve creative energy for the things that matter most, which is their actual writing. Everything else is just busy work. So, I've got a breakdown of 12 of the most common anti AI arguments that I'm seeing across writing circles. I've got responses aimed at helping authors, maybe like you and me, avoid emotional manipulation, try to spot logical fallacies, and make informed, confident decisions about your craft. I hope it's helpful, and let's get into it. Number one, people say AI is unethical, period. Okay, quote, they say, these LLMs only exist because they stole data, they trained their machines on our books without our consent. Okay, here's what I think the fallacy is: black and white thinking and loaded language. This argument frames the entire field of AI as inherently immoral. Truth is, the ethics of AI depend, I think, entirely on how it's developed and how it's used, just as libraries and search engines index content to make it more accessible, and they're not considered thieves. AI models learn patterns. They don't replicate content verbatim unless you prompt them to. They don't store and hold all of it in. They understand the connection between concepts. So training on public data is not new. Humans do it too. Every time that you read 5 novels and then in a genre, and then you imitate their structure or style, you're training yourself. The issue is about maybe consent and compensation. They might be legitimate concerns, but I'm not actually even sure about that. When are artists going to start crediting and then sharing payouts with all of their sources, right? I'll wait. I won't argue that unethical practices went into or may have gone into how these tools were started. But look, if you know anything about some of the ingredients that are inside the Great Wall of China and how it was built, you'd probably want to rethink some of your vacation selfies. Most of us have no control over how something gets made and then added to the market, like a highway being input because of eminent domain through someone's historical treasury. As much as we may regret it, and there may be valid points, a point also does come where we have to get back to living, working, and just doing stuff and integrating the fact that the world has changed around us. So the real question, I think, is what are we learning from the past? And what kind of future are we building to make it better? So here's Legend Fiction's third way. We advocate for responsible AI use like any tool, but we reject the idea that using AI is by definition unethical. Instead, we're teaching authors how to use it responsibly as an assistant, not a replacement. All right, point number two, saying AI helps the disabled is insulting. There's a quote, something like generative AI is not a tool to help those with physical or mental disabilities. I know this because my friends say so. I don't know. Sometimes I just read that line, and I've seen that on Reddit and stuff. Like, are you seriously using a line like that? Okay, fallacy. You're appealing to personal anecdotes, and then there is also a dismissal of lived experience, right? I think whoever says stuff like that, you're invalidating a category of assistance because it doesn't apply to your circle of friends. That's not an argument. People who have dyslexia, ADD, chronic fatigue, language barriers, neurodivergence, we're all already reporting how AI is helping us brainstorm, organize, and express ourselves. No one is saying that AI should replace accessibility tools, but for some, it can be an accessibility tool. Writing off a whole group's tool because it doesn't fit your narrative, well, that's pretty exclusionary. That's pretty elitist. Plus, I think it's also up to every creator how much they want or choose to augment their process with something like AI. Some people carve ice with ice picks, and some people use chainsaws. Both are valid. Just don't bring a chainsaw to an ice pick contest, right? It's a different league. So in legend fiction, we have a third way. We want to honor the diverse ways that people create. And if AI helps someone outline their story, their book, well, that can be a win. Um, and if somebody doesn't want to touch it at all, also valid. For our community, the point is to skill up in the actual discipline of writing. So don't use AI to like write your stories. Otherwise, why are you in our community? Right? All right, number three, AI can't help people find their voice, it replaces it. They'll say stuff like, you cannot find your voice by having a machine do the work for you. Okay, what's the fallacy here? I think it's a false dilemma. This assumes that AI use equals outsourcing your voice. But voice isn't something a machine gives you, it's something you choose. Every writer who's ever rewritten a line, maybe generated by AI, frankly from somebody else, they've tweaked a sentence or they've tossed out a bland suggestion, they're developing their voice in real time. Your voice gets stronger the more that you interact with different styles, different tones and rhythms, and AI can act as a sandbox for that exploration. Plus, and I think let's face it, okay, books and writing, it's essentially a transcript. It's an invented form of communication. Okay, it's a stand in for actual human dialogue. Uh, Therefore, the printed word is not dogma or canon. I'm an author. I can say this. It can evolve. It has, and it will. The tools that we use will also evolve. So, our legend fiction's third way here, don't let the machine straight up dictate your stories. Um, Use it to help you, maybe interrogate, adapt, own your sentences. And that makes AI like a prompt, not a puppeteer. Okay, number four, AI won't make anyone a better writer. Quote, they'll say stuff like, you learn to be a better writer by doing the work. That will never happen if you're plagiarizing. Okay, what are the fallacies in this one? Equivocation, guilt by association. Equating using AI to plagiarization, that's a category error. Writing tools have always helped with grammar, brainstorming, structure. What matters is how you use it. Heck, ghostwriting is a long and noble tradition. A first draft may be generated from some sort of a prompt, isn't a finished book. AI can help structure thoughts and outline scenes or suggest transitions and so on. You should still do the work to refine, personalize it, finish it. Again, in your the legend fiction community, just don't do that. Now there are other authors who will. We'll talk about that. Um, in our community, you do the thing. You do the reps of the writing. That's the point of our community, and come and do it together. So some people, now all this being said, some people will never have the time or the ability to learn the skills of writing. And it could be because time is tight and life is impossible. I am not prepared to say that their insights should never be heard or that they should never have a chance to communicate. It's like somebody saying, if you want to be an artist, go and learn to paint a Rembrandt. Like, excuse me, that is not even remotely conceivable or possible for most of humanity. So that is not a viable argument. Um, Everyone, for the first time in almost human history, everyone has a chance to communicate more coherently, no matter your background. You can share your thoughts and have it turned into something that is that is clear, that can be shared with somebody else. Now, if you are somebody who is a student and you are smarter and you are able to better learn the craft and you have the time to develop your ability to communicate, you should absolutely do it. AI can help you, but you need to internalize and integrate and learn that actual skill yourself. I mean, that's why else are you in college, right? I know students are using chat to craft college papers, and teachers are now using chat to grade college papers. And it creates this ridiculous cycle of like, okay, who's in charge here? What are you doing? It's okay. Um, I think that's a whole different conversation. Frankly, it's more of a conversation around how our education is being structured and how that needs to improve or evolve anyway. All right, so in Legend Fiction's third way for this, authors can use AI like a sketchpad. Don't use it like a copy machine. If it helps you to move forward and revise something into your own, it's a tool. It's like using Photoshop instead of a paintbrush. It is a viable option. All right, number 5, getting feedback doesn't require AI. You can get it free in critique groups. Uh, cool. There are absolutely free ways to have humans improve you in your writing. Well, okay, but here's the fallacies in this. It's a red herring. Also, it's a false equivalence. Maybe. This assumes that AI is 100% replacing human critique and that writers are lazy or misled for using it. But AI isn't trying to replace your writing group. Um, It's just not. It's maybe you can use it like a first pass editor for your 2 a.m. draft. It can be a practice partner, it can be a warm up. And also, not everybody has the time, energy, or social access to consistent critique partners. Frankly, if you're joining a writing group, almost everybody in that writing group wants everybody to read their stuff. It takes a special kind of writing group where everybody is able to get all of the time and attention that they need for free from all of the other people in that group. AI can offer feedback immediately, anytime. So I think do both, preferably both. In Legend Fiction, we do have a third way. We encourage community. That's the whole point of why we get together, is to write together, share feedback together, and it can be often so much better to get feedback from an actual human being. That's never going to go away. We encourage community, and we also recognize AI can be a lifeline or just an incredible help for isolated, time-strapped writers. Both can coexist. Okay, number 6, creative writing has value. Even if it's unpublished, AI devalues the creative process. And I will say something like it removes creativity from the process and it makes you an assembler, not an artist. Okay, what are the fallacies here? False dilemma and no true Scotsman, probably. This assumes creativity only exists when everything is made from scratch and that using tools disqualifies you from being an artist. Okay, that's patently ridiculous. Creative work has always included repurposing, remixing, and iterative work, using a variety of, frankly, every conceivable possible kind of tool to give you an edge or to give you a different kind of output. Um, Assemblers can also be artists. Just look at collage, remix culture, screenwriters, Photoshop kit bashing, right? Some authors never need to share their work. Okay, they write as a form of active meditation. It's a form of creative contemplation. This has value even if no one sees it. Publication is one possible metric of value in creativity. Personal satisfaction is another. AI doesn't devalue all creativity. If you're generating images and calling yourself an artist, okay, check yourself. If you're dropping a prompt and running off an entire book on a topic that you never researched and calling yourself an author, yeah, check yourself. If you're using AI to speed up and eliminate tedium in your process, well, isn't that what every creator does? How would Leonardo da Vinci use AI? I think it's worth thinking about. I doubt that he would dump it. Creators have always used every stepping stone possible to see higher and farther and deeper. And that includes faster. Frankly, that's why we have schools at all. Using AI in your process, your creative process, has nothing to do with the general act of creativity. It may help some of us write faster, better, or with more support. So, the Legend Fiction response, creativity isn't the absence of tools. It's what you do with them. We train writers to maintain authorship and intentionality, even when using AI as a creative partner. You still choose the direction, the values, the voice. You're not just assembling. architecting. And on the point about the no true Scotsman, it's this this idea that a true author would never use AI, and it's like, well, wait a second. You're just redefining the definition of an author to fit your approach. So I'm going to tell you and give you the permission in this video and in all of the other series of videos on this channel. Artists are the best people to be using AI because an artist is somebody who will see beyond the use of the tool to think about the idea and then use the tool to help them get there. If you're staying at the level of merely an engineer trying to do something creative, or something that simulates creativity and use a tool to help you get there, and all you're doing it is to make money, how much of a creator are you really? That's a different conversation, I guess. All right. Objection number 7. The publishing industry is broken and AI is not the solution. And they'll say something like, the problem is not a lack of output, the problem is a lack of equitable access to publishing avenues. Fallacy here, I think this is a red herring. What do they have to do with each other? There probably is an issue with inequity in publishing. I think that's a separate topic. Dismissing AI because it doesn't fix everything. It's like dismissing medicine because it's not solving poverty. AI doesn't solve systemic injustice. It does give individuals more tools to work around gatekeepers. Um, I don't know what else to say about that one. The response, as far as LegendFiction is concerned, publishing is probably, maybe definitely broken. I don't know. I don't have enough experience in that space. But I think that's why AI matters, because it allows under-resourced, under-networked, and under-confident authors to write, revise, and publish faster and smarter without waiting for maybe legacy gatekeepers to notice them. Now, it's not a fix, but it is a force multiplier. Okay, objection number 8. AI-generated books are flooding the market and devaluing real writing. For example, they'll say, Amazon has had to pull AI-generated books. Bookstores are facing floods of these products. Okay, what are the fallacies here? Guilt by association and slippery slope. This whole point, it's just conflating low-effort AI garbage, which is out there, we'll call it slop, with all AI-assisted writing. They're not the same thing. Now, of course, there are bad actors using tools to pump out content, but look, that's a human problem. That's not a tech one. We've already had this issue in the past with unethical ghostwriters and plagiarists, Kindle scammers. Okay. I don't know what else to say about that one. The LegendFiction response is, we don't support junk production. We support disciplined creativity. Spam is spam, no matter the source. We teach creators how to stand out with quality, with heart, with purpose, whether you're using AI for brainstorming or outlining or not. Okay. Number 9. Yes, AI is an existential environmental threat. They'll say stuff like, AI models consume absurd amounts of electricity and resources to function. What are the fallacies here? Tu quoque and whataboutism. This is worth addressing. I think it has to be placed in context. Data centers also power cloud storage, video streaming, online banking, phone calling your dog to drop treats during the day, right? AI use should be measured and regulated, but blaming individual creatives for global energy, that's a deflection. Honestly, authors, for example, using AI, are a minuscule fraction of its use. We are a polyp on the hide of a tech race between two world superpowers that will define the next 500 years or something of human history. AI is not going away, and we need smart people learning how to amplify and augment themselves and how to use these tools in an intelligent way, right? So, the LegendFiction response, yes, we care about sustainability. The environmental burden of AI, though, it is not borne by individual authors using GPTs for 15 minutes or something. If we're serious about change, we do need smarter policies, infrastructure reform, better conversations. We need to get involved in the policies and have conversations with the policymakers about ethical guardrails and safekeeping and individual, whatever. Okay, that's a whole side of this where there are very good and very smart people who are leading that charge. Let's support them, understand it, get behind them, and so on. But creative paralysis, especially for those who are not as creatively skilled as Stephen King, for example, who doesn't need it, never wants it. We're not all in that bucket. Use your tools as they help you. Stay informed and don't carry the world on your work in progress. All right, number 10. The only people defending AI are those with a financial interest in it. Quote, when you hear people defending generative AI, check if they're being paid. Fallacies here, ad hominems, and I don't know, it's just an ad hominem, okay? This undermines valid arguments by attacking the motivations of those who are making them or using them. Just because someone benefits from a technology doesn't mean they're lying about its value. By that logic, no author can endorse traditional publishing either because, I don't know, they profit from the system. It can go the other way too. Check if someone is being paid to obstruct something, because hired actors at rallies to hijack messages is a matter of public record. But let's just not go that way, right? Get away from personal attacks. Let's deal with the topics. Let's deal with the ideas. So the Legend Fiction response, I mean, our community has no financial stake in stuff like OpenAI or Amazon algorithms. What we care about is creative empowerment. We're defending agency, which is the right to think clearly, choose your tools, and build your voice without being shamed into silence. Okay. Objection 11, writers who use AI don't respect the craft. If you respect the work, the art, the value of it, you should not support these technologies. Basically, it's the same thing as another one we've talked about earlier. It's an appeal to purity, and it's a no true Scotsman. And it's a purity test, masquerading as a moral high ground. Respecting the craft doesn't require staying stuck, if that's how you feel about it, in past methods. Writers respecting the craft, or writers do respect the craft when they adopted typewriters in place of pen and ink. And then word processors, and then self-publishing platforms. Respect shows in how you use the tool, not whether you use it at all. So, as far as legend fiction goes, we believe that the actual craft itself is sacred, not just important. We believe there's an actual vocation to what you're doing here. There's something deeply, deeply meaningful. Hence, yes, we'll use the word sacred. We think it deserves access to the best tools available. It's not a betrayal of tradition, it's an evolution of it. We teach authors to elevate their work by using whatever helps them to grow, as long as, in this community, you're not using it to straight up replace you. Other places and communities where that may make sense and you may need that, that's a different conversation. All right, objection number 12. AI won't go away unless we refuse to use it. Quote, in the context of like, I won't support NaNoWriMo if they won't take a firm stand. Neutrality is betrayal. Fallacies here, it's a false cause, and moral absolutism. Refusing to use AI will not dismantle the tech industry. It may just isolate the writer. And demanding the communities excommunicate tool users to prove their virtue, it's moral absolutism, it's not leadership. So, in legend fiction, we don't support a dogmatic view like this. We support dialogue. We're not going to punish people for being curious, for being cautious. We're going to invite every writer, traditional or tech savvy. Actually, I'm not even sure I want to say traditional. I want to say conventional. And then, I don't know, different, right? And everything in between to co-create a future worth writing about. The only point we draw a line at is don't use AI to straight up write your story or your novel. Otherwise, why are you in this community? It's like, running a marathon and bringing a motorbike. Like, why are you even in this race? Trying to like win this race with a tool that completely is a category difference puts you out of context with what everybody else is doing. Go win a motorcycle race and somewhere else. So I think that your craft is bigger than your fear. And let's be honest, creative work has never been safe. It's always been risky. It's always been messy. It's been misinterpreted. It has been open to theft, to failure, to flat out silence. Yet we keep writing, not because it guarantees control, but because it guarantees that it means something. And the rise of AI doesn't change that. Yes, there are ethical questions worth wrestling with. Yes, we need boundaries and standards and deeper conversations, but the answer is stay human, stay curious, stay committed to the work. Legend fiction exists to help authors to think critically, to use tools wisely, and to tell legendary stories or cozy fiction or historical whatever. We're here to protect meaning in writing and to field test moral imagination through the creative act, to tell timeless truth or mythic truth, mythic meaning, right? We don't want to replace writing. We want to encourage and create freedom for more authors to write together. I think that in the end, creativity isn't being threatened by technology. It never will be. It is threatened by fear, especially the fear of changing how you think and grow and tell the truth. Let's be honest. The novels and the stories that you're writing are the byproduct. They're not the point. They're the byproduct of you. You becoming and developing into something maybe wonderful. And you're spending time learning how to do all of these wonderful, fun, amazing things. You are the point. And these creative things are the byproducts. They're your output. They're not actually you. Part of you, they take their life from you, obviously, because they wouldn't exist without you. You are the point of engaging with your creativity. So I think ask better questions, use better tools, write like it still matters. Because 500 years from now, it will still matter. The human in the mix, communicating with other humans. Now, if this video was helpful, I think you're going to love a series that I've put together on how to think about positive ways to use AI, how I am using it. It's a series of like 8 videos that I think is going to help you now that we've talked about the fallacies. Now let's get into how to actually be productive with it, how it can help you. Go ahead and check it out.